Used to.
Hey everybody, welcome to the latest interview edition of Music, Movies, Sports, and Stuff podcast. And you know how we work. We like to bring people
I can't hear
from all over.
Wait. Oh, mute mic.
Are
Or
you
maybe
unable,
he's on mute for a second.
Are you unable to
maybe
hear
I'm
us?
not in there yet.
While we wait for the hearing to be sorted out,
that's good.
We are going to have on Mr. Glenn Spillman. Now, Glenn is a director. He's been an actor. He's been in the business for many a year. I'll let him explain how long he's been on the air or in the industry.
Dude.
And is Glenn still can't hear us, so we'll continue without him because Glenn is a man of many talents.
There you go.
You like a little?
He has all sorts of different genres that he's been in, but he focuses mainly on horror. And I think the audience is really going to find him interesting because he has a perspective of somebody who's been there a while, but he's also eager to keep going. And so,
where's the fucking?
And so then we have to figure out what these little technical glitches are. Because you know what? When you're doing things with technology, sometimes things glitch. But we can make the most of it. Danielle, can you hear us okay?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Perfect. So everybody, this is also Danielle Hunter. She is part of the network. She's an emerging actress who's looking for experience and having fun. And she's doing some writing. She's raising a family. She's dealing with lots here, there, and everywhere like everybody else is. So Danielle, is there anything you want to say to everybody?
Hello. I would like to know how you're all doing. I am doing great. I am actually working on something that's hopefully going to turn out to be bigger than I expect, but you know, I'm not going to get my hopes up. But
yeah, we're not going to let that out of the bag, but let's just say people who like what she's doing is going to like it.
Yes.
And so I'm just trying to tease a little bit. Can you hear us, Glenn?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. We've been hyping you up so much.
Yes.
I like it.
That's awesome. So without further ado, Mr. Glenn Spillman. Glenn, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, and all the aliens in the universe out there listening to the show. I am first and foremost humbled that you guys even asked me on the show. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Glenn Spillman. I own Cellar 13 Films. I've owned it for over a decade now. And my main thing there is we're a full production company, but I produce, write, direct, act in horror films. That's my genre. That's my jam. It always has been. And I started off acting at 8 years old. I'm from Los Angeles, California, so it kind of came natural to me. But once I got bit by that director's bug, man, and that writer's success bug, I went full force, man. I went balls to the wall, and I love it.
Sorry, I'm just turning off my air conditioning kicked in. All right. Okay. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Technical things always happen. Glenn can tell you.
That's all right.
Wow. All right. And so, Glenn, let's start you out as a young lad.
Yeah.
What movies and or TV shows affected your ability, not affected your ability, but made you want to get into horror films?
All right. Well, let me just preface this by saying I grew up in a very strict. Uh, if anyone out there knows Christianity, and if you heard the word Pentecost, oh, they're the ball busters of ball busters, man. They're the. I'm sorry. They're like I. They're mean and they're judgmental. Everything I did, I was going to hell. So I didn't get to go to the movies. I didn't get to watch TV shows other than what my parents watched, which was I don't even remember. I mean, the news, I remember that, but as far as
A
TV
little
shows,
House on the Prairie.
I did that. Like I used to now they used to let me watch sometimes Saturday like cartoons and stuff, but then I would also get to watch like the um the Bruce Lee, Shaolin, Monk, the karate, a lot of martial arts stuff. A lot of martial arts stuff. But fast forward to when I was 14 years old. Um, I just um, I was in high school at 14 years old, and I met my bros. It was kind of our little rat pack, if you will. There was Bert Carranza, Pat Chapman, Leaf Yonker, and myself. And I remember Leaf. He was a filmmaker, and he's like just general getting to know each other. And he's like, "Hey man, I'm doing this film." He goes, "You want to be in it?" I'm like, "Yeah." But my first question was, does it have any cussing in it? Because my parents won't let me do it if it does. And that was my first question. And then we ended up at his house because his dad was a sales something. I met the guy twice in the 4 years of high school. I met his dad twice, and he would always be gone, so we'd always be at Leaf's house watching movies. The very first movie that I saw, horror wise, was George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. And I loved everything about it. It didn't scare me. But then we watched John Carpenter's Halloween, and then the Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and all that. It wasn't until I don't know, later on we were at a different friend's house. I don't remember his name. I remember what he looks like. We were out in his garage. We saw The Evil Dead. And when I saw that film, it scared the shit out of me. Like those demon scenes. Because prior to that, I've seen people get demon possessed in church. And so I've seen it, I've heard it. But when I saw it, like what a demon really fucking looks like, I guess, scared the shit out of me. And I was 14 years old. But other than that, other movies intrigued me. We'd go to the video store. We'd start at the letter A and go all the way down. And they only let us get 3 movies a day. And we'd get them, go home, watch them, bring them back, and so on and so forth. Or I would get 3. Leaf would get 3, and so on and so forth. But yeah, all the classic horrors, man. It got me into horror because that it just immediately made me feel at home. I enjoyed it. It made me feel at ease when I watch horror movies.
Yeah,
It's a long answer to your question, but
no, that's okay. You get all the rope you want, but I think, especially with boys, but girls as well, we have this childhood memory of going to video stores, renting movies. We really shouldn't, but the guy behind the counter didn't care. So
right.
I have something similar. I had a buddy, and we went to the local. It was called Bandito Video, and the guy rented us Microwave Massacre and Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, Sleepaway Camp, yeah.
And we were like, all right, game on. And that ending, I think I was 14 at the time, 13. You'll never forget where you were when you saw that ending.
Are you talking about Sleepaway Camp's ending?
Yep, Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But if you don't see it coming, you blink and is that what I see?
Right.
I think the 2 movies that really creeped me out was The Shining. That movie just creeped me out, and It, the original It, with Tim
original.
Curry. R.I.P.
Oh.
Yes. Oh,
I can remember watching it when it was on TV, and you had like Tim Reed and the cast there. John Boy was in that.
Okay. Yeah.
But Glenn,
Yeah.
what is it? Where do you get your ideas from? What inspires you? Do you have a vivid imagination? Do you have things you take from real life? Inspirations from other films? Where does it come from?
Honestly, I've always had something up in my brain, even as a little kid. But then when I go back and I think, now that you asked this question, real life, you know, things that I've seen, experienced, how I grew up, um, and then I was a little kid. I was living in this neighborhood. I don't remember the street. I remember the house, the layout, everything about it. And I was there. It was in Broderick, Northern California, and it's outside of Sacramento. And I was sitting in my little play hut, and the neighbor behind me committed suicide, shot himself in the through the face. It went like I felt something by my face. I heard the big shout, or not the shout, but the gun blast, and I just felt something go by my face, and it scared the shit out of me. So I obviously ran into the house. Long story short, the guy committed suicide, and that thing was the bullet going through his face, through the fence, past my face, um, and so that was a memory of mine from I was younger than my son, so I was probably 6 years old when that happened. Um, Things that I've seen. I mean, I've been hunting with my dad, um, and other members, tribal members and whatnot. The very first thing I did when they killed a deer, they were dressing it out, field dressing it, and they cut off the legs. And the first thing I did was I picked up the leg and I started playing with the joint leg because the tendon would come in and out of the end of the leg, and I was fascinated by that. And then I took that leg and I poked it in the stomach and I punctured it, and it didn't bother me. So and then when I got into the military, some things that I've seen overseas. Um, but when I do films, when I've been writing a film, I've never said, um, I'm basing part of this off of this movie or that movie. I will take and create a whole, original. But what I do now is I'll give little tips of the hat to, like, maybe a certain shot that I've seen, like the the Quentin Tarantino shot where in Pulp Fiction where they open the trunk and the camera's in the trunk facing up. Maybe I'll do an homage to somebody, but I won't be like. Um, I have, although, looked at a movie like The Godfather, and because when the guy wrote the script, he never wrote a script before. That was his first one, and if you get the book on how to write scripts, that's the dude. And when he did the God, he's never done one before. But I look at that as inspiration. Like, shit, if these people could do it, But I do have mindsets of people like Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, people like that, because they don't give a shit. Meaning, they don't care. They don't want to offend people or make people feel bad, but they're not going to be like, well, we can't really say the F word too many times because we don't want to offend anybody. you know. But I think a lot comes from real life because as a kid, I remember after my dad used to beat the shit out of me, I would sit in my room and fantasize how I could kill him. And I remember he was taking me. I mean, it didn't happen, so I guess he's dead anyway, so I can't get in trouble for this. because it didn't happen. The next time he took me hunting, I was gonna kill him. I was going to make it look like an accident, and I was going to shoot my father. And I was probably 15 at the time, and by then I was a very good shot, and I had this whole thing planned out. But I had him, and this is what saved his life. I had him in my sights, and I took, because I always taught to take a deep breath, let it out, and as you're letting it out, pull the trigger, and that's what I was doing. Well, as that happens, during that, however time it was, a miracle of God, because a buck about 20 feet in front of me jumped through the shot as I was pulling the trigger. So, obviously,
was your dad impressed by the kill?
He was, because, of course, I didn't tell him what I was doing.
Yeah.
But he was, because it was his son being like him. He wanted me to be like him. And because I remember the first time, they call it buck fever. A buck ran right out in front of me like 10 feet, and I couldn't pull the trigger. I was thinking pull the trigger, but I couldn't pull it. I was just too excited. And he called that buck fever, and he goes, well, I guess buck fever didn't hit you this time, you know? So, but no, I'd fantasize a lot what I could do to people, or people that wronged me or hurt me, or because by then several bad things have happened to me. So I've had a pretty deviant mind. And Bill Burr, the comedian, he said that, I heard this like, I don't know, 6 months ago. He's all like, what separates the psychopaths from a functioning psychopath? And he goes, here, I'll give you an example. He goes, if you're driving down the road and you think to yourself, oh, I see a group of people over there. If I just move it just 3 degrees this way, I'm famous. I'm on the cover of Time magazine. And if I just keep it like this, no one knows who I am. Everything's fine. So he's saying that there's a lot of psychopaths out there, but people who do things and people that don't. So I get to tell people I get to kill people legally and not get in trouble because I make a movie about it. That's my therapy, if you will.
And your imagination can run wild, and it's a positive thing when you're making a movie.
Oh yeah, when I'm making a movie, absolutely, it gets everything out.
And, but I totally agree with you, because maybe I'm just jaded. Maybe I've seen too many thousand horror films, but very little, if anything, scares me anymore. Like, it's got to be something real. It's got to be something really out there.
Yeah.
But when I can remember, I agree with you that real life is scarier. I've always said to people, I can watch slashers and that kind of thing, and then go down in the basement and fix my furnace. Like, that's no big deal.
Sure.
But I remember as a kid watching the news, and there was a building, a skyscraper that was on fire, and a woman was dangling from the window trying to save herself, and she came down. That stuck with me for years, as opposed to the Evil Dead. Like, I love the Evil Dead, but it's practical effects, and that's why I love that. Like, I can watch The Beyond and look closely when the eye gouge, because I want to see how good it is.
Right.
So that
there you go.
That kind of leads me to the next part of talking about effects.
Sure.
What do you think should be the purpose of practical versus CGI versus AI when you're making your films? Well, and you can get on your soapbox if you want.
Sure. I just watched a movie the other day. And I did a podcast on it, actually. It's Bambi. The Bambi movie, the horror movie. And it was done, I think it was right at $1 million. And it was a group over in Australia. It was, they did it in 20 days. Good movie. I didn't have a problem with it, except the cliches, and except she's running, they're not showing, so this is gonna it happened. Some of it was a little bit kind of BS, but as I was watching it with a friend, I'm like, watch, we're gonna rewind this. the blood splatter that just happened. Tell me what you see. Well, they really couldn't see what I saw, but when I explained it to them, I'm like, it's shinier, it's more cartoonish, and so when I explained it to them, they're like, oh, okay. Um, I think I am a huge. Well, the first movie I saw, Dawn of the Dead, is when I got introduced to Tom Savini, and then Tom Savini was doing all these things that I liked, and I consider him the El Jefe, the king, whatever euphemism you want to put. He's, in my opinion, the best of the best when it comes to special effects.
Just curious, you like him better than Rick Baker?
Ooh, well, shit. Well, when you got Rick Baker, and then you got Greg Nicotero. I would say, if I had my Mount Rushmore, they would be on it because they kind of intermingle each other.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick someone, as far as if I wanted to dive into their brain and I was working with them on a film, I feel now that I could dive deeper into Tom Savini's head with some sick shit without him going, oh, wait a minute. And I think that him and I could jive well. Not that the other guy couldn't. I'm just thinking Tom Savini is a person that likes to press boundaries and likes to test things. Now, CGI. Like, that's why I don't watch. Well, I don't watch Marvel I'm just not a Marvel guy. I go with my friends. Sure, I'll watch a movie. I'll watch a romance movie if I have to. If you put a gun in my face, I'll do it. But I'll watch anything because I'm a movie lover.
Just to say, so one of the expensive people coming to your next film isn't Hugh Grant?
No. And yeah. And so that whole thing with Bambi was CGI and AI stuff. Another film that I watch, Clown of the Cornfield. It should be Clowns because it's multiple. And it was, I thought it was like filmed in like maybe Missouri or Nebraska, but nope. It was in Canada because I was like, Canada's got cornfields, and I did my research. They got millions of acres of cornfields.
I've
well, holy shit.
I've got cornfields a kilometer from my house. I think there's lots.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that I like practical effects, number one, because I think they're just cheaper to do. Because with CGI, you have to have a team of computer people and then you got to dress everybody up in their little outfits with little balls, and it just takes more time, more expensive. I think because I don't want to watch a movie like Marvel and stuff where almost 100% of it's CGI on a green screen. You know, that's just, I've seen how those are made, and it's just boring to me. There are some uses for things. When it comes to horror movies, practical is just better. It's cheaper. It's more realistic looking, you know, and you get to play around with it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. See, I always thought, as an admirer of horror films, that CGI was cheaper, only because you see a lot of low budget films with some god awful CGI. Like, I think the top of that is like Birdemic. Birdemic was made for nothing, and it's all CGI birds, but I didn't realize. Yeah,
you could tell that because that little brick that's behind you.
Yeah,
I could, like, if you do like the whole, like the bird thing, it has that similar outline, like with the birds and everything like that. Yeah. You could just tell it. Because like the other day, the guy forgot to bring his blood. I specifically said, when you're leaving your house, put the blood by the door so you don't leave it. And, well, what did he do? He left it. So I had to rush. I give a girl my card, had her go to the store. She got me powdered sugar, cocoa powder, a packet of different colored food dyes, and some cornstarch. And I made my own blood. And it was rushed, but it was like a boom, boom, boom thing, but it worked. and for a scene that I was shooting, well, two scenes because I did a really intense scene with one, and it was if I had more time to play with it, I could have dialed it in more. I thought it was a bit too runny for my taste, but it worked because I just needed to slather the guy's chest with blood so it wasn't falling off of his face. So it worked, but it was cheap, you know. And it's edible and it's not sticky like the old school Kiro syrup and
Well, and it's non-toxic if you're
exactly.
using. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What
So
is your
Glenn,
favorite scary movie? Like, what is your all-time favorite scary movie?
what's the one? It doesn't necessarily have to scare you the most, but the one that you are pulled to more often than not.
Yeah.
Like that I enjoy watching.
Yeah, you're sitting at home. It's Sunday night. You don't want to watch football. You want to
Yeah,
throw
the
a movie
lights are
on.
off, and you got the popcorn, and you're like, yeah, let's get this on.
Yeah, your
Oh,
wife is looking for a romantic evening, and will say, "Hey, honey, let's throw this in."
well, for me not to want to watch football is a sin, but if the Raiders aren't playing, I don't care anyway. So for that, it would have to be any of the Saw movies. Probably the first few because number one, it can really freaking happen, and two, because it's between that Hostel, the first one, and then Human Centipede, the first one,
You know
because that.
what? Yeah,
What's up?
Oh my god,
I
the
was,
human
I was just gonna
centipede.
say, for me, the Human Centipede, the first one, other than it being a bit gross, is just a survival film.
Exactly.
And I love the second one. It's brutally brutal, and I
Yeah.
love that.
I couldn't like watch it all the way through because like when I was younger, when it first came out, I was like, what in the world is that? Like, what are they doing? How are they doing that? And
But
then it just made me sick. But now that I can watch it, I can be like, oh my god, that is so cool.
but to
Right, but
me,
I think the Saw movies because he gives them
yup,
redemption or a
yeah.
chance for redemption. You
Yeah.
know, he just says, but he's teaching these people a life lesson that if they get through that, it will change their life for the better. That's why I like it.
So we've been talking a lot about your inspiration, the creative process, but let's let the listeners and the viewers know what are you working on now, or what do you
All
have in
right.
the hopper, or what's coming out for us to see.
All right. Well, right now I'm working on a movie called Serial Killers: The Beginning, and I got four more scenes. We shot yesterday for the scenes I wanted to do. We got like three minor scenes to do, and then the end scene, which is going to be freaking brutal and intense. It's based off of real life events, and when I say not loosely, I'm talking like 90% of the film really did happen. Um, every single character in that film is based off of a real person that I know, have known, or have met somewhere in the world at some point in time. When I first started the film, I was basing it off of the first short film that I did was called Thanks for the Ride. And it spawned serial killers. And I basically, because when I was a child, on more than one occasion, I was molested. So I was making this a true to life revenge film because one day I heard, because my daughter, and it also spawned because my older daughter, Paris, was abducted when she was 4 years old for 6 months, and her mother was trying to sell her into sex slavery. And I found out that here in Sacramento County, in the past 10 years, around 13,000 people have been sold into human trafficking and sex slavery. So that spawned the idea. Well, shit. And then I wrote the movie, and then I told a friend of mine about it, and I'm like, wow, dude, that's pretty fucking awesome. Why don't you kind of, if you can, why don't you fit my story in there? And then another friend, and another friend, and this person, and that person. And then all of a sudden, I got all these characters. So I wrote Serial Killers. It is a modern day vigilante movie based off of this guy that started the dark web back in 2002 with a German and Russian engineer, basically initially for mercenaries and people of that lifestyle to work covertly with other people and governments like that to give them anonymity. And then it grew into what it is today. And it's a bunch of people that are targeting child molesters, rapists, stuff like that, and they eradicate them off the earth.
So this is Charles Bronson to the next level.
Oh, on steroids.
Steroids.
On
have
steroids.
you seen a film that came out? Oh, was it 2012, 2013 called Found?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
it's eerily reminiscent. Like, I'm not saying you're copying or anything, but it's of that same vein. And honestly, Glenn, if you give me a screener beforehand, I can't wait to watch that film.
Oh yeah. And like when someone says, and I appreciate that, because when someone says, "Oh, it sounds like this," I'm like, "Great." Because the good thing about me is it happened to me and I'm just portraying it on film on the XYZ so other people, and I think that's great that other people are making films like that, but my thing is not to glorify anything but to uh, let people know that this is going on, that let people know that I'm living it true to life right now. I mean, my daughter, who I missed her birthday, she's 8 now. Her mother, I put that term loosely, abducted her Easter. I haven't seen or heard from them since. I have no idea where they're at. I know the kind of person that her mother is. I know the kind of people that she hangs out with in that type of world that she likes to live in. So I think every single night, is my daughter safe? Is she not? But I have to put that in a little box because I can't let that consume me, because if it does, I'll go fucking crazy, you know? But and then the other one that I'm starting in November is called Resurrection in the Field of Blood.
Ooh.
And
And I know you've kind of teased us a little bit behind the scenes, but say what you're allowed to say.
sure. I have, well, number one, this vampire film, the way that I wrote it has never been done in the history of cinema. The way that I wrote it, the type of the folklore and whatnot, never been done. You've got your romance, vampires, all that cliche stuff, but this isn't like that. Um, it You can go on my site and see things, you know, the synopsis and whatnot. But I took off I call them the four horsemen of the apocalypse, as far as the actors that I don't have just attached to this film, that have signed the contract. Um, I will say this: between the four of them, they've been in 672 different horror movies. Um, they're all, in my opinion, household names. Two of them for sure, and one of them guaranteed. Anywhere that you go in the world, they will know who this individual is from the iconic um, horror characters that they've played. Um, I can't fully, because the film's not fully funded yet, so the agent said I can't use their name or likeness, but I can give hints. Um,
Well, I was just going
they're
to say, from what you've told me, they're from some of the most iconic franchises in horror.
Yep, yep, you'll definitely know that. And for the main character, um, they have never in any movie that they've ever done played a character like they're going to play in this film. It's going to flip the script on what everyone thinks that this person was going to play in this vampire film. And so I start that in November, and it should
Now,
be.
will that be released theatrically or
Oh yeah,
streaming?
I've already got a letter of intent for release, and I haven't even shot one film frame, and I've
Will
got a
will
distribution.
Will serial killers be theatrically released or straight to streaming?
Yes. Yeah, no. I want it to go. And here's what I'm thinking. Because if you think of the kind of movie that it is and the subject matter, where I'm going to make, and I'm not in it for the money, but yes, I do this for a living. So, getting paid is always nice, but that's not my main motivation. Um, but people like over in Germany, Japan, China, Korea, they're gonna feast off of this film because the subject matter that I do and what I do within the film, as far as the type of kills that I do, it's pretty intense, to say the least.
It's right up my alley, Glenn. You and I are both practical effects extreme horror fans. So,
Yeah,
is there now? Let's just get into the theoretical now.
sure.
If you had a budget that allowed for it, and
Sure.
I've asked you this before, and I'm curious if you'd answer the same. Who
Sure.
would you have in a horror film? Two actors that you don't normally associate with horror films. Who are you going to take out of their element?
Um,
Because I think of like when Robin Williams did 24-hour photo.
sure.
That's a very different than anybody'd ever seen Robin Williams before.
Sure.
Is there anybody you think has the acting chops to go from comedy or drama or action into a horror film?
Yeah. Went to the University of Texas. Sometimes teaches there. Has a house outside of Austin. Loves barbecue. All right.
All right.
Yeah,
Now,
it'd be
I'll
Matthew
I'll
McConaughey.
argue he's been in one. He was in TCM4.
But the what I would do with him would make that look like Disneyland.
Oh,
But if
that's go
that's
ahead.
a bold statement, yeah.
That's awesome.
I would, but if I would venture to say, someone who's an action star that I would put in, and it does a lot of comedy with like Kevin Hart and stuff like that, would be The Rock. I know he's done a lot of.
Do you think he could pull off being someone who's evil or unliked? Because he's got such a Hulk Hoganish loving,
Yeah, I could do that very easily. And I could flip him two ways. I could turn him into a sniveling pussy, excuse my language, and turn it and flip it to where he's pushed in a corner and then he unleashes holy hell. That's one part of the spectrum. But the spectrum you're asking, if I could turn him into something that people would absolutely despise and hate, oh, absolutely I could.
Could you?
Absolutely
Because
I could.
that's always the challenge when you get like those horror films that used to have like William Shatner in them and things.
Mm-hmm.
You think of actors in a certain light, and then you don't, and it's not easy to flip that switch.
No.
Yeah.
And one other person on the female aspect of things, God rest her soul, she just passed yesterday, I think. Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton, she hasn't acted in ages, but I'm sure you could do something with that. Well, would you make her the loving one that turns, or just make her evil to start with?
I would have one tragedy that happened to her in her younger years that flipped a switch inside of her, and ever since that switch has been flipped, she's been on this continual type of. But no, I would turn her into.
That. She is a phenomenal actress.
But I would turn her because she's known for being so sweet, so kind.
Yep.
So
Loves
Southern.
her animals. Loves her social causes.
See that's where I would fuck everybody up, because everything that she's known for nicely, I would put a twist in the movie, and I'd make it twisted for sure.
To me, one of the most maniacal women in any film I've ever seen is Susan Tyrrell in Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, And I could easily see Dolly of 15 years ago even playing that role. But she just, like she's got that Kathy Bates-ish in her, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just doesn't come out. People want to see the smiling, singing, dog-loving. They don't want to see her plot to kill somebody, So you can totally do that.
Yeah.
But Dolly's got this innocence about her where she can just come on screen and smile, and you think, oh my God, she's so cute. She's it. And then all of a sudden, wham, you just see her just be this evil Knievel.
She could pull a Betty White in Lake Placid.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Betty White's another one, they can easily pull it off.
Yeah.
Now, there's this real life, there's a house in downtown Sacramento. You can go visit. It's there. Have you heard of Dorothea Puente?
No.
Well, she is a serial killer that lives here. Well, she's in jail now, Sacramento. She known as the Death House Landlady. So she'd get these people that would rent rooms, and it was like an old Victorian house in downtown Sac. And she would kill them, and then collect their monthly checks, get another one in there, kill them, do the same thing over and over again, and just bury the people or cut them up and feed them to her animals, just weird shit. And she did it for decades until it's like a true life serial killer here.
Now, does that help you with any inspiration for potential characters?
Yeah, it does, because what I like to do, and people like my writing partner, he's a little, I wouldn't say he's one. All right, so when I talk to developing a certain character, I want to go when I first started, like with different killers and whatnot, I wanted to go talk to killers, like Charles Manson and like that, to where what made you or motivated you, or whatever word you want to use, to be like, okay, I'm going to go do XYZ, or okay, I'm going to have my people go do XYZ. What was your thought process? Because I know that you were on a lot of drugs and whatnot, but forget the drugs. If they weren't there, what motivates you? Because I would take little pieces of information. I like when I was doing a mob film, I went and I talked to actual mobsters and all kinds, Irish, Russian, Italian,
Chinese?
No, Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah, and I told them what I was doing, and then when I did some stuff on bikers, I have a friend of mine whose uncle is in the Hells Angels. I'm like, well, I want to talk to him, and I want to talk to him in their place, where they hang out, and I like to go to the source, because they're going to tell you stuff that the internet's not going to tell you, So,
yeah,
that is a motivation for me, because I could be sitting, like I was reading a newspaper one day, and in South Carolina, there's a guy who died from eating a Carolina Reaper pepper. So I looked up the Carolina Reaper. I saw at the time that it was the hottest pepper in the world. So I started thinking, and immediately within minutes, I had this story in my head, and I wrote a short story about 30 pages, and it's called Carolina Reaper.
Well, if you need someone from real life to help you with that, we just interviewed a gentleman in his mid-20s called Spice Jesus, and he will do all of that. And if you want that hookup, I can get that for you, because he literally sat there, and we were just doing a casual interview like this, and ate one of those one-piece chips that were the hottest in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And then he also infused his own tequila with scorpion peppers and let them sit for 2 days. And took a couple swigs of that. So
I don't know what motivates people to do that shit, dude.
I don't either.
Well, honestly, honestly, it's not that far off a horror fan in the sense of they want the adrenaline rush. They want
Yeah,
that headspace. It's the same thing. People take the world's fastest roller coasters. Like it's almost
sure.
other than all I could see is heartburn. That's all I can
Right.
see. Now, before we go, I do want to get your thoughts towards the people that are just kind of breaking into the business,
Sure.
whether if they're 22 or if they're 52.
Sure.
What steps would you take for a young woman, young man looking to get his toe in the water and then sprout from there?
As an actor, as a filmmaker, as all the above.
Yeah, all of the above. Like just literally getting in the business as a grip and becoming Tom Cruise or whatever.
All right.
How's that transition?
Well, first and foremost, I would tell you, uh, don't go to film school. You don't need to go to film school. You don't. You're not going to learn anything in film school other than maybe a technical definition or little pieces here and there. Where you'll learn is being on set. Get on a set somewhere and ask them, hey man, I want to learn camera today. Show me everything and ask questions. I do that. I let people come on my sets all the time because that's what I did. I learned. And if you want to make a movie, you don't need millions of dollars to make a movie. Dude, right now I'm doing serial killers. And right now my budget is under 10,000 and I'm almost done with the feature film. You know, I get I just used a place yesterday. Most people have to pay for locations, like a lot of money. I get mine for free. It's about my pitch, and so that saves me thousands of dollars. Um, I get if you have and you don't have a camera, you got one of these, a smartphone. Use that. Tangerine Dream, award-winning film, was filmed on an iPhone 4. Um, you don't the two basic things. If you need to go to the local colleges and go to the film departments. Hey, I'm a aspiring filmmaker. I want to find someone in your sound department to use as my sound person. Can they get extra credit for class? They will, absolutely. You can get all that stuff free. Um, if you've never wrote a script before, you could do one or two things: learn it, or just set up a scenario. Get like two or three friends together. Go, okay, guys, we're gonna play poker at the table, and you give them a scenario, and then do a skit. Do like a 5 minute skit, and then do another one 2 days later, and then hone it and hone your craft. Get on as many if you want to be an actor. There's shit all around wherever you live. Get on because there's a lot of people going. I'm doing this movie, but it's not paid. Get on it because in networking, you never know who you're going to meet. I did a major motion picture, a Robert Redford film, a few years back, and I'm in 3 scenes in it. The opening scene is one of them. It's based off of a true story, and I got it from networking with someone. I played an extra, and we're just talking like, "Hey, man, I got this friend that's looking for boom, boom, boom," and I would say get on a set and just start learning stuff because that's where you're going to learn. And do not let people tell you it takes a lot of money to make a movie. It doesn't. It helps. It's nice to have, absolutely, but you don't need it to make a movie. You just need to have like-minded people that want to work with you.
That's awesome because the one thing I was going to ask is, and I see the ads up in Toronto, and I'm curious
Mm-hmm.
to do them, is just becoming an extra, being around the set, knowing how a director runs his or her film, how the sound department, the lighting, the makeup. I figure you can absorb so much without having responsibility as an extra.
Sure. I'll just spit this real quick. The Robert Redford film I was in, I originally got on there as a extra because I didn't get the part that I wanted. But they go, "Hey man, we like your look. Do you want to be an extra, a prisoner?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, hell yeah." So I was getting dressed. I had my oranges on, and we filmed it at the Nevada State Prison. And I heard somebody say, "You." And I looked up, and they're pointing at me. He's like, Get undressed, get in a guard's uniform. Yes, sir. So I went to wardrobe, got a guard's uniform, and they brought me in. They told me what the scene was, and that's me in the opening scene. And I'm walking the prisoner to their thing, and I got into three other scenes, and I got that role because I first went as an extra. The actor didn't show up that was supposed to be there. They liked my look. I got in on it because you never know what's going to happen on set. I do it all the time, you know.
Well,
So
if I recall, you put a post out about 2 weeks ago about one woman who was an extra got thrust into a role,
yeah,
and she
she
ended up
did.
doing a good job. Yeah.
She did, and the scene that she does is probably the top one in the top three kill scenes in the entire movie. It's really intense, emotional. She really gets into it, and it's pretty awesome. So yeah, and she was just showed up because her sister said I was looking for an extra.
Yeah, and then it's a nice pay raise from $40 to whatever it is because you got to
Yeah,
speak. Yeah,
and then I found out that she was the musician, and now she's writing a song for the movie.
perfect. Now
Yeah,
I know that you're a man of many hats: director, producer, actor, and there's a lot
sure.
more that goes on. Writer. Have you ever thought about getting into the music end of it?
Well, I have because I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he's the DP on my film. His name is Freeman Free Jack Williams, and he's a platinum winning producer in music, and he's worked with like Tupac, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Warren G, all that. And we were talking about like music and the film and editing and whatnot. And I'm like, you know what? I go, I can compose. And he goes, you can. I'm like, but hold on a second. I do not know how to read music. I couldn't tell you what a C note is or what an A note is. Nothing. I hear it in my head, and then I mess around until I find it. And then I piece it over here and I piece it together. Um, as far as music aspect goes, I'm kind of toying with that now because I'm collaborating with several artists, and I kind of tell them what I'm thinking, and I might like do the music that I hear in my head like out of my mouth what I'm hearing, and then they'll kind of put it together. But yeah, the music aspect it really intrigues me. Sure,
Well, the reason I ask is I had an interview that I'm setting up in the next couple of weeks about somebody in your exact situation, but he also does the music, producer, director,
sure,
actor, and I'm like, how many hours in the day are there? How do you how can you get this stuff? Like, how do you manage your time? I wasn't going to ask this, but it came to me. How do you manage
sure.
your time between okay, I could really use an extra hour's worth of shots, but I got to go to my son's soccer game. Like, how do you manage the work life balance?
Well, I have everything so dialed in before I even get on set. I know exactly what I'm doing. And as long as the actors know their lines and can pull off the role, it goes off seamlessly. Plus, I usually shoot with two cameras, and that cuts things in half. But if I know for a fact that I have to be at my son's soccer game at 3, and depending on where it is, I gotta leave set, done, in and out at 2:30, no questions asked. I time everything, and then I'm always asking my assistant, "What time is it? How many more scenes? All right, guys, this is what we got to do." And I always make it happen. You know, it
Do you
always
you
comes.
do you use a second director,
I had
like an
no,
assistant or associate? Like
no,
like if you have an upset stomach, somebody else can man while you're gone.
no, because I, well, how do I put this without sounding arrogant? Um, I love what I do so much. I don't care if I'm throwing up every 3 minutes. I'm going to be on set with a bag in my hand, mask over my face, throwing up, but I'm still going to be doing stuff because I love what I do, and I feel that with certain aspects of things, if I let certain people do it, they'll either A, cut corners, B, not give what I'm trying to get out of somebody. Like they might let someone talk them out of saying a certain line. Well, that certain line has to be said. That's the whole point. That one line is the point. Now, anything else around it, sure, we could change. But I feel that some of the people that I work with, except one, will let people talk them out of shit. They're just that type of person. But no, I do it myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know, like for the bigger productions, sometimes you see assistant director had to take over a
Oh
scene or
yeah.
whatever.
Oh yeah, there's
Like,
times to where I was on a film set to where I was shooting a scene. This was at the prison over where the horses are, and they were shooting a completely different scene inside the jail cell. So that was the assistant director doing that one over there, and then but no, on the bigger ones, they do have their place. They really, really do. But I run on a skeleton crew because
okay.
I told people all the time, if you give me $1 million, I'll make 10 fantastic films. Because I know for a fact I can make a film start to finish easily for 100 grand and have name talent in there and give you an awesome film. I know
Well,
that for a fact.
you make Lloyd Kaufman, Don Dohler, and Roger Corman very happy. You know, like I always go by, if somebody says, what kind of movie do you want to make? Roger Corman had the three B's: blood, boobs, beasts. You throw
There you
them into a
go.
film, people will come out.
Oh
so,
yeah, dude.
so
Yeah,
we're getting towards the end, but I do want to ask you one important question because
sure.
your perspective means a lot.
Well, thank you.
What are some areas within the horror industry or genres you think have been underrepresented or not at all? Personally, I think there should be a few more environmental horror films. I don't think there are. Or there's not enough, to me, mainstream body horror. I don't think there's enough of that. What direction would you love to see? Would you like a return of Nazi exploitation? Would you like more horror in the terms of supernatural? What do you think could work?
I think two parts, both ends of the spectrum. One, like the movie I'm doing now, I'm getting a shit ton of backlash and serial killers. I've counted them, over 200 actors turn down certain roles just because of the subject matter towards the end. People don't want to talk about it, and they're afraid of it, this and that, but it needs to be told. Um, and that is real life shit, like pedophiles and all that. That's like a hush hush situation, but it's also prevalent in politics right now with the fucking Epstein files, and it's out there. My child was fucking abducted at 4 years old, was going to be sold into sex slavery by her own mother. Those kind of stories, the true ones that really can get you, need to step out there. But I think that with a lot of the religions, the practices, and stuff like that, and what people are playing with right now, is more things that like demons and shit, because people are messing with the Ouija boards, people are messing with seances, and people are messing with all this stuff and conjuring up elaborate things so they could be better in wartime. Um, because different religions, even, and I'm not trying to get religious, but if you go like with Egyptians, thousands and thousands and thousands of years of conjuring up spirits to help them win a battle. They still do that shit today. Um, a lot of people that in the Asian culture dig up, people from the dead to help them in, a lot of military
Well,
does this
and
stuff.
in that same lines, the Mexicans with the Day of the Dead celebrations, bringing the bodies out and
Yeah,
celebrating
well,
past.
yes. And there's an Asian culture that digs up the fucking bodies once a year, and they'll like have a cigarette with them and do this once a year. They dig up their loved ones' bodies. But I think some really true life supernatural shit. I like that because that's going on around us. I feel. I feel.
For me personally, Supernatural's low on my list. Not because I dislike the genre, but I find for every one good Supernatural, there's 10 that aren't.
True.
The Supernatural one for me is the one with the biggest ability not to come through, at least in my experience.
Sure.
Like I'm not a big fan of the Conjuring series.
Okay.
Because I like Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Sure.
But other than the first one, I find it a bit.
Oh yeah. They go off the fucking rails with sequels. But the guy, it's been within the past year. They were doing an Annabelle tour, and he's fucking around one night, took it out of the cage, was messing about, and that dude was dead within 24 hours.
Did you hear about the one that with the motorcycle? He was tapping on her case and mocking her and saying weird stuff. Well, they were going home, him and his girlfriend, and they crashed and they died.
Yeah, I truly believe. And then Matt Rife, the comedian, he bought that house and he uses it as a, from what I understand, an Airbnb for, which is, it's a smart money maker. But I would love to talk to him about, hey, you're using it as an Airbnb. Let's take this, a step further. And, I would talk to him about like putting hidden cameras up, not in private areas, but hidden cameras up all around the house to see if some people that do the Airbnb go through some shit and just to see what happens.
All of them. Yeah. Okay. And the other area I think it's got its own niche, but with the ever-growing legalization of marijuana, I wonder if you could almost do weed horror.
You can, dude. Do you know how many fucking weed horror? I think there's like 3 of them, and I watched it, and I'm like, there's no fucking way this is real. A friend of mine says, dude, go look at this movie. It's called Killer Bong. And I'm like,
oh, Killer Bong! I find them fun. They're not.
Yeah,
good.
it's a real movie. And then they got one, and I'm like, let's get outlandish. Let's see if there's really a movie out there like this. I'm like, is there a movie about a killer vibrator? And lo and behold, there freaking is.
You know what's a good one? If you ever see the German film Killer Condom, it's a good film.
I gotta start researching.
That reminds me of. Have you seen that movie Teeth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm crossing my legs as we speak.
Well, if you do that, you're really going to cross your legs at the end scene of Serial Killers. Because I do something that's
is it worse than Antichrist?
Dude, you've never seen this. You've never seen it. I promise you that, because I get creative with the area.
We gotta watch it with the lights off. I want to watch it with the lights off.
I'm looking for shooting nipples and exploding penises. That's what I want to see.
You're on kind of a. I do. Well, I can say this part. There is a part to where they're like not tantalizing, but they're trying to get information out of this guy, and each individual, they're kind of like, this is where I do an homage. I do an homage to Quentin Tarantino, Reservoir Dogs, where that guy turns on that music and he's kind of dancing a little bit. And so I'm going to do an homage with one of the witches doing that, but they're going to be like cutting off a nipple here, tossing it off. Nipple there, tossing it off. And they're going to be doing skinning them a little bit. But what I do to one of the guys, his area, I'm telling you, dude, it's really freaking brutal.
I've got a friend, Raul, who does a podcast called Headlong into Monsters. And his big thing is he loves when things happen to penises. He loves seeing it in horror films. And he's got a top 10 list of films that he calls it genital mutilation films.
Well, this is going to be one of them. This might make it into his top 10 because I
I'm
had a
sure.
special effects artist in Los Angeles. She made me 3 dicks, all different sizes and girths and
Wow.
whatnot. They look real, but the end that's cut off, it's got the stuff inside, the bloody this and that. But what I do to one of them, yeah,
Oh,
it's very cringeworthy.
You're going for
I
the
will,
Emmy, yeah.
yeah, I will wait till you give me the screener, and I'll just sit there quietly and dissipate.
Oh yeah, dude, it's gonna be awesome. I'll tell
Oh.
you that right now.
Well, Glenn, this has been absolutely amazing. But when I
Yes.
finish my interviews, I give 3 questions so the audience gets to know who you are.
Sure.
If they haven't already.
First question.
Yeah.
What sporting team, if any, do you support?
Well, give me a sport and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know
there you
you're
go.
a Raiders fan. Are you a Sharks fan?
No, I'm not. I am. So we'll go by sport. So
Perfect.
basketball, Los Angeles Lakers. Baseball, there's 2. There's the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees.
Of course.
But it would always be the Dodgers. Number 3, when it comes to hockey, it's probably the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Okay.
Yes.
And in football, it's going to be the Oakland Raiders. Now, I do like the Cowboys, and I watch them because where I went to school, a lot of the players have made it there. But a friend of mine that I've known since a kid now just got drafted to the San Francisco 49ers. But I will not. I'll vote. I'll root for him personally, but not the team. I'm a Raider fan for football.
Awesome.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Favorite all-time musical artist or band?
Men at Work.
There you go.
That's a good one. I like that.
That's a good
Colin-
one.
Yeah, Men at Work.
Colin Hay is still kicking around somewhere.
Dude, he
touring.
is. I met him when he did the Crest Theater here, and I love all
Sweet.
his personal work. He's been in a few movies, and I want to get him in one of mine. But all time, without a doubt, because their music got me through a lot of stuff. Men at Work by far.
They're underrated for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one more. If you go into a bar or pub and you're ordering 2 pounds of wings, what flavor are you ordering?
Garlic Parmesan.
Okay.
I'll see what because some of them have different flavor. But if it's the basic, they're gonna find anywhere. I would do garlic Parmesan and just like a barbecue.
Hey,
Yeah.
Perfect.
sweet and spicy. There you go. Or sweet and
You don't,
tangy.
you don't want the triple X scorpion.
No.
Well, Glenn, this has been awesome. Danielle, is there any last words you wish to say?
When you're on set, what is your favorite role that you've ever played?
As an actor,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
an actor.
Well, I would say rubbing shoulders with Robert Redford would be pretty damn good.
yeah. Him, probably no talking on set when they're doing the scene setup. I like talking to like the old school guys because they're telling stories. They're down to earth, like Bruce Dern that I met on the Mustang. He was old then, and he's still alive now. But he's
Yep.
been in a lot of Clint Eastwood movies,
Yep.
and he just sat there and just story after story. I like just getting to know people. That's my favorite part of being on
See,
set.
for me as a movie cinephile, I have a real affection for working actors as side characters. I love character actors. Charles Durning, those type of actors would Brian Dennehy, like these kind of
Yeah.
Michael Ripper in all the old Hammer films was always
Yep.
the judge, the barkeep, the ditch digger. I mean, you can have Ben Affleck as your lead, but if your side characters can't hold it, what good's the film?
Exactly. Exactly.
Anyway, Sam, do you have anything you wish to say?
No, I mean, I think it was a good interview. Obviously, we'd love to have Glenn back. I did want to say on a general level, it's been a rough couple of days. Condolences, rest in peace to Tim Curry. That's a big loss there. On top of losing Dolly Parton in the same day, that's a really bad day.
Yeah, shit.
And then Hayden on August 16th.
I don't know what's going on in the world, but something. I mean, between the musicians, the actors, and all these people are dropping like flies. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know if it's a full moon somewhere, what's going on, but it's not cool. But much love and respect for that. Tim Curry, great career, a lot of memorable roles. You know, same thing with Dolly Parton. A lot of great music there. A lot of good ones have gone. So I just like to say, for those that have inspired us, those that have come before us in our respective fields, there, you know, we obviously pay tribute to. A lot of people wouldn't be where they are without them. So
exactly,
gone but never forgotten.
There you go.
Absolutely. And just on one final note, when I was, I think, 11, I watched the movie Clue, and I watched the shit out of that. I taped it off TV, and the tape went dead. Like, I watched it so many times.
You wore it out. Yep.
I wore it out.
Well, on that, I gotta say, the first Tim Curry movie I ever saw, we used to sneak in the theater at the midnight movies, and what did they play at midnight movies? Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yep.
My team was it and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yep.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know what gay was, straight was. I didn't know what transvestite. I didn't know any of that shit. Because all I knew was people were having fun in the theater, throwing the rice, the water, the bread, all that. It's fun.
Yep.
Fun.
Did it inspire you to get
doing the time warp?
Yep.
Yeah.
Trend setting.
If I have to hear that at one more wedding, I'm walking out. I don't want to do the time. Yeah, and Glenn, did it inspire you to buy a corset?
No, but
not to get personal, but yeah.
No.
Your own fetish is your own thing. I'm just curious at that age, you know.
No, I didn't, but you know what? My sister did try to blackmail me one time. She had, I don't know where it came from, but she has or had a picture of me. I was in a blue, like, lingerie, what do you call those? Nightgown,
camisole kind of thing. Yep.
But no, it was a full nightgown. But
full nightgown. Okay,
I was doing a pose. I don't remember it, but she tried to blackmail me with that one time about, well, if you don't do this and this and this, I'm going to put this out so everybody sees. I'm like, I don't give a shit, dude. I don't care. I'm like, dude, 3/4 of my friends are gay, and they.
Here, I'll do it for you. Here, give me the phone. I'll do it. Here,
that's what I said. I'm like, dude, you do realize where I'm at, right?
The biggest issue with wearing women's clothes isn't wearing the clothes. It's how can I pee quickly?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, Glenn, this has been absolutely phenomenal. We'd love to have you back. We'd love to have a series for new filmmakers or for horror filmmakers. And when you have something coming out, tap us on the shoulder. We will promote the shit out of it. So
I appreciate that, guys. And same goes to you, man. If there's anything that I could do to help you guys out, just let me know.
Well,
I appreciate it.
If you are shooting a film in Toronto, you let me know.
Well, you know what? I've been thinking about that because they have good incentives there.
They do. They have incentives, yeah.
I know 2 actors that live there, and I was thinking, now granted, that's still like way on the East Coast, but the incentives, if I could figure something out to where even if I do a short film there, I go for a weekend or a week, and I do like one of my short series up there, hell yeah, I would do that. I would just get everybody from Toronto. I would go there with my DP, that's it, and I'd get everybody else up in Toronto. The whole crew.
I want to be zombie number 4.
Zombie number 4. All right.
Or drunk at bar. You know, that'll be...
He's good at that. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Anyways, Glenn, that's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Danielle, it's always a pleasure to have you in here. And of course, our president, Sam Crow, wonderful, wonderful human being. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Music, Movie, Sports, and Stuff. Come take a look. It's on all your podcatchers. I'm going to put this up there. If you want to get in touch with any of us, we're not that far. We don't bite unless you ask us to.
Yep.
Have a great evening. No drunk driving. Let's be kind to everybody, and let's be good people.
All right.
Thank you for watching.
Peace
Good
out.
night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Peace out.